many better pieces on your team to work around here is going to lead to success.
As Maka screaming at some bias who's a little bit confused. I love the graphic there, fellas.
Perfect.
You guys did great over there. As we're getting started off, it's G2 versus 3D Max as we're kicking it off here on Ancient 3D Max's pick, but one G2 can certainly play. Inferno will be coming up as our second map. And how about 3-man A-main aggression? A flashbang lined up here from Hunter. That goes wide and body swings into... Oh, it's over. Oh, goodness. It's 3 kills instantly. Can Exorcist and Gravity bring it back?
Put a bomb plant here. Maddie's just caught transition, but Heavy God has the backup. He is prepared. So that bomb plant dream going to be quickly denied. And Gravity off the outside looking in on the smoke, getting dwindled right now. Straight through the smoke. Heavy God able to complete the mission. Complete shutdown all over the map. There for G2.
Heavy God is turning out to be one of the strongest players. Everyone talked about him being like, oh, he's Nico's replacement. He's supposed to play all the Nico roles. And he does exceptionally well. I mean, I have really high hopes for him. Even when they didn't have this new roster, I'm like, this G2 team still packs a punch even without Nico and Modesty. Heavy God is a good replacement, a long-term replacement too. Still a very young player early on into his Tier 1 career. And more on that topic of G2 future-proofing their stars.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a great landing spot here. Obviously had a lot of potential there, but when he was playing on Cloud9, able to show a lot of that proof. There's a decoy in play. Oh, and Maka absolutely uses it to perfection. Hunter able to find a multi and get out of dodge. So some safety provided. The regression doesn't work out for Maddie's either.
That is guns handed over.
This is just the Deagle that's invested right there. They're getting so much room out of so little investment. They've picked up a rifle as well for Gravity. Now, everyone low in HP doesn't leave them a lot of favors, but making strides into a round that they barely dipped into.
Yeah, I think one bullet from any M4 will actually take them down because they are armorless. So this should be a cleanup crew.
I'm just going to clear out the B side right now, so that's some good timing. Calling this clear might allow you to stack up some more presence on the A side, or at least have someone on the scene. It's just Hunter right now, who is low on HP versus a Deagle and an A1S.
Yeah, that's the one. That's also one bullet territory. But Exorcist walking through the B site though.
He's spotting it out and he's calling it clear. But there's no time to bring the bomb back, so it does have to be a commitment. He's going to have to wrap this round up with a late flank.
Yeah, but he's just on a Glock. That's the actual issue. And now he's making footsteps, and now that's been heard and communicated there by mobs. So you're going to have Hunter go down to the Deagle, as you've been talking about. Long range, though, for Heavy God, of course. How did he spray transfer that? Are you kidding? I mean, again, Heavy God's a beast, and I feel like everyone underestimates this guy. I wouldn't be surprised if G2 give even some of the top teams in the world a run for their money.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. That's the potential I think this roster brings to the table. Obviously, it's going to take some time to gel. I think you're going to still need to see, more work done out of Hunter on the T side calling, which can be a bit of a challenge, but that's why you bring in Saul. That's why you allow him to come into this roster and kind of shift things up, build up some game plan, some structure, and really help him out in terms of the calling potential.
I mean, talk about Saw as a coach and how he turned Ents, who were basically a band of misfits at that point, into the #2 team in the world. Right? Like, everyone thought Snappy's finished, 33 years old, probably not going to make it happen, not even a Tier 1 IGL. Sunpies was a known quantity, he was a pretty good opper, but not like world class. Like, I could see him in the top 10. Deha.
Yeah.
I just bring that up every time.
It's been a while since in the limelight.
Yeah, but like Deha, Madden, like that team was like, most people thought they were, middle of their careers, probably going to be hanging around Tier 1.5, and Saw turned them into a world-class force. We have bombs here inside of Donut. We actually just get ran down. Oh, okay, double entry there from 3D Max. We'll put an end to my lecture. Wow.
Instant dismissal right there. Exorcist and Body able to destroy that round, tearing right through the defense. Mal's committed there. And when that smoke goes down, you think that's where you can maybe turn your focus on doubling up towards Donut and keeping that control, but a little bit disconnected between that duo. unable to lock down that control, disrespecting that smoke, and a confident move. That's what 3D Max have been using all throughout this event, to not only stay alive, but to thrive in stage 1. Is that high-octane Counter-Strike. They play a fearless game.
Yeah, and it's going to be Body, Exorcist, and Lucky. Body and Lucky have been basically the sole reason they've even got to this point, too. I mean, they were very down and out as Body lifts his mic to go ahead and do some screaming at G2. But having to take down Tai Lu, that is probably a very big scalp for this team and a big-time test to... teams that are closer to the top echelons of Counter-Strike. I don't think Tai Lu played their best game, but still a win nonetheless.
Tai Lu that had expectations in red-hot form.
Yes.
Right? That's the big difference maker. And honestly, a Tai Lu that dealt with them.
Yeah.
Just a week ago before they played that matchup. So that's kind of the impressive factor, is that 3D Max, maybe taking some time to gel, get things settled with the new coach, but they looked refreshed and revitalized here in Cologne when it's the big stage that they're on.
Also push the Mongols to the limit on this map. Required
speed here from Gravity, already through the cave side and fighting into B right now.
Knocking on the door, good flashbang back. Heavy God trying to support his cave anchor in the form of Maddie's, but he does not convert the kill clean. A decent smoke, but Maka's already out onto the site. 3D Max are starting to set down stakes with the smokes blooming.
Utility on the money right there. Enter into the site 4v5 advantage. Still yet to get the bomb down right now, which is a bit of a problem. But they've got that recycled utility and the continued HE's bombard. Mouths here, starting that round off low.
Right here, Heavy God will have a heads-up duel versus Exorcist, who just taps him. Easy does it. Hunter next to fall, and 3D Max are putting down G2.
They don't need to plant the bomb right there. What they have to do is clear out the safety for that plant. 4 kills before the numbers ever even get punched in. And dominance asserted here from 3D Max on another gun round. Some Pius looking to hang on to his rifle, but he's getting flanked here. 3 players are already on the hunt. The insurance policy is Lucky on low HP. Everyone else is circling the waters. They have him cut off. They have him contained here in towards Temple.
I think he's screwed here, and Gravity walks forward. And everything lost for G2. It is back to square one for the squad. As 3D Max playing some real patient Counter-Strike, as you've mentioned.
Yeah, I mean, explosive at the get-go, right? They're able to enter in early to this map control, but then there's no rush to plant the bomb. There's crucially so, right? You can see the position from Heavy God. He's ready to, spam through the smoke on a moment's notice. But they flush out that long and short control before there's a priority on punching in those digits, and that's a smart move in the late round there for 3D Max.
Looking at just B-lane control, okay, it's like, do they make a right or do they make a left? And that's what you wonder.
Oh, that's maybe a delayed take here. They're throwing in the utility now, flying up the ramp.
Okay, and Bodies Mac 10 will make short work of all of them on through the ace. This is a nice little anti-ego ace to get us started. Why not, Body?
Yeah, go hunt that last one there.
Nah, his teammates are probably going to take it from him.
Come on now.
He's
there you
going.
go. He's moving.
Oh, he's looking, moving through the smokes.
Oh, there
it is. He said, give me the ace, and they abided. These guys have worked together for a while. And they know a good piece of teamwork and a good ace can get you started.
That's just good for the morale right there. I mean, honestly, you want Body hitting these openings right there, as he does. And if you get him confident early, we saw what he can do in taking over that mid-control on the CT side. Now, still rocking on the T side for a little while longer, but the game plan here from 3D Max, all according to plan. This team does such a good job of finding their way to take this map control, and a lot of early plays to do so. They're going to move at you quickly here. That's going to force out, a reaction from G2. If you're Saul, you're probably talking about expending that early utility. HEs and mollies are a necessity at the start of rounds, and you've got to throw them. You can't afford to save those late. Otherwise, you're going to lose space.
Now let's see what 3D Max have primed. We have an instant house smoke lineup. And 3 players looking for the old-fashioned A-pop.
Off to start here for some Pius on the A side.
And he's here, but it's glass cannon as well. And he misses. Does get away. Now Malb standing in front of the plate. He gets his one. But now it's all onto Hunter.
Oh my
he falls. A flood of CTs. Heavy God next up at bat. Tucks behind the site though. He's staying sneaky. Plant in the open. Heavy God's gonna deny this. Bomb on the floor. And now a duel versus Maka.
His body's opping. Picked it up here off the back of some Pius, and he still has a teammate in Maka activating late, but Body finding a 4K. He's looking for back-to-back aces.
Oh my God! No
He's
way!
Again!
No way! Body does it after he picks up the op in Temple and is giving him a little wave. How about that? 10 kills, 2 rounds.
He's doing it all. I mean, we just watched the hard carry performance from Dong, but I mean, on the eco, he's able to tear through them. This is a gun round that he just completely lays claim to that A side.
It's crazy because Maka was so far out of the picture there too that it was all Body. He had to do all the work, and he did. Now Mobs on his Desert Eagle, but G2 on the back foot very early. Of course, no doubt Body out-fragging his entire team. Emma did that today. Man, today has really been an individual performance, like record breaker. We had 30 bomb from Emma, where the rest of his team I think only got 27 kills total. We had Donk go a 3.0 rating on CT side nuke. Body wants a piece of the action.
Let's keep it up here, Body. See what he can do. It's another eco to have your fun with. 10 kills in a row for him. 2 rounds provided. And now a much slower pace up against the eco. A bit of a grinding halt here. 3D Max. Kind of rare to see these rounds thrown out into the mix, but it feels like they're calling the shots perfectly. Late smoke from Hunter's nice, but there's also this late flank that's going to come through. And no matter what the case is, it's going to be a play towards A. It's about how much Hunter can do to disrupt and buy time.
Yeah, it's an A crunch.
And the rotates are getting cut off, so buying time's not really a factor here, and getting any kills might not be either. There's one through the smoke as it gets blown open, and no problems here for 3D Max.
Yeah, might as well keep your armor for the remainder. Who knows? Who wants to hand him a bye? Heavy God gets eviscerated. And I'm like, who wants to give an AK? No one does. For the side of 3D Max. This will be 5 rounds for the Frenchman. G2 and their gun rounds have just been pulverized every time.
Yeah,
They've had some chances. Heavy God has given them a moment. I mean, Heavy God gave them not just the bomb plant denial, but also the first 6 kills of the game in those first 2 rounds. Max impact for him, but the rest of the team is missing.
Oh yeah, the gun rounds have fallen over a little too easily. If you look at the way 3D Max have been able to open up, I mean, on the rifles. Body obviously with the ace on an off-spawn A call, but before that it was 2 very comfortable plays. One towards Donut that instantly provided the double from Exorcist and Body. And then one quick motion from Gravity through Cave. So, you know, as I said, G2 have to come up with a reaction. I'm seeing, you know, limited fights for some space here on the CT side as well. And when they do want to take control, I feel like there's a good reaction from 3D Max to hit the right bomb site. A lot of players stacked over towards mid. We hit with the quickness. That's a molly.
That misses.
That bounces right back.
It's just Heavy God here. Op will reveal itself, no problem. Heavy God just calls over, but Mob goes down instantly. Body on entry. He does take a dink, but that's all. Now it's Heavy God at long. That smoke is off the mark, however. Second one will do. Completely blocking him out. Hunter's trying for the wall banks, though. But 3D Max continue taking space. Bomb about to be planted. Heavy God can't stop it. But it's 5 keys in a little box here. Can the wallbangs do anything here for Matties? Hunter finally delivers. Body nearly falls over. Everyone is so low, but the kills are not coming through. Exorcist eventually falls. It's still winnable, though. 2 kills have gone back. Still 2 players stuck on the site. Sampaias only takes attack and hits the shot on a Lucky. Low HP for everyone. It's got to be Body again. Has had back-to-back aces. Now he needs a quad kill. He needs to get him off of that defuse as Sampaias trying, but he's out of ammo. It's got to be the no-scope. Nearly the collateral, but it's not meant to be. A full 10-second stick from Matties will get it across the line for G2.
Oh, he was painting the picture right there. The collateral looked all lined up, but only the single. A quad kill denied after the monster performance that we've already seen for Body. And it's just barely picked up.
How did the Glock shots not hit a single bullet? One bullet for each of them from the Glock. He hits none of them. And then this was nearly a collateral.
So close. You're talking about a Body monster map right now. And that could have just packed even more pain here, but he's down early this time. Sampaias has a point to prove. 2 kills to open it up. Lucky and Body sidelined.
And Sampaias playing like his old self now. It's Cologne. Thinking it's 2023.
We got to make it to the stage.
Gravity walking forward. And it's Mobs to find both. Missed shot off the op. Matty's got the coverage, and G2 are so back.
Oh, that's a clean round. That's one they desperately needed. Sampaias providing. Talking about him kind of being a more stand-back-ish opper here, but this time he fights forward in the face of this play from 3D Max, despite the HEs that are thrown his way. Still able to track 2 kills. Making it easy for Mouse and Matties to put this round to rest.
Confidence building kills as well for Sampaias. He's a real piece of this G2 team. Like, no shame to Hades here, but this is a guy who that they can really make plays around, center it around. It doesn't have to just be the heavy odd haul.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for Hades, he gets replaced by Sampaias again.
Where have we seen this before?
But I mean, most importantly, I think, you know, it is kind of a proof of concept from what Sampaias has been able to bring to the table. I don't think as explosive in Tier 1 play on Heroic towards the tail end of the season, but he showed it in Tier 2 that he was just dominating. You know, Heroic won multiple events in the Tier 2 space, so I think he just comes ready to play with that experience. And again, you know what he can get going on a stage.
I think he actually had a little bit of struggles on Heroic, though. Even though I think a lot of people saw, ooh, big rating. But Heroic was really a very rifler-focused team.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's what Saw likes. He actually just kind of likes the full picture, as opposed to just, you know, let's get another superstar. And oh, hold on, Gravity, back to back. Matty's watching. Oh, he's ready for it. He sees a barrel through the smoke. Matty's now on the hold with Mobs. It is a firing squad here for 3D Max as they walk out middle, and Matty's continues rampaging from the cave, and Mobs with the headshot. Full house for them, and don't doubt Matty's either. This is a full G2 unit we're talking about from Saw.
Yeah, no missing pieces right now. They're able to step up to the plate. Complete denial of this mid-control. Great read and reaction from Matty's. That Gravity lurk was so long in the waiting. And as soon as Matty's turns on a dime, able to delete that play. Still more money in the coffers for 3D Max, though. They still haven't been taken down. So another buy rolling here still. See if they continue this mid-fight that hasn't been rewarding them as of recent. Said Gravity going to lead the pack here up the shelf side. Matty's looking to fly through the smoke. Rethinking that decision, especially with Hunter finding this opening pick. Now it's not necessary. Now you know exactly where these T's are. If A main is clear, that means there's going to be a whole lot towards the B side. He's still committed in his K position, though. Now he's stuck in.
On the corner, swings out, but is dealt with. Heavy God only good for one. And suddenly it's back to the 3 versus 3. Sampaias forced to move to help out that B site.
Whole team moving right now in transition. This might be heard and registered from Body. Malb still keeping it covered.
On the timing. Oh, Malb's good enough on the headshot. They're coming through Donut now, though. And with Hunter on low HP, wasn't seen. He swings, but still it's no kill. It needs to be the second, but instead it's nearly the full spray down from Mobs. 1v2 for Exorcist. The nade nearly takes him out, but he survives. and gets up onto the boost.
Low HP on Malbs. He gets handed the op here. Now it's Sampayas on the rifle to try and trade things out.
Should be good. Malbs is going to run forward, try to clear out all of these angles.
I think he's Donut.
They're not ready for the tree boost. Up top, the Jiggle Peak doesn't see anything. Malbs will go down, and now it's known. Sampayas here, trying to catch him on the swing, and he gets it. Sampayas will pick up his op again, secure the defuse, and the lead here for G2 with 4 in a row.
A calm clutch coming through there from Sampayas. Able to deliver in the 1v1. Not letting that one slide by. Good decision making there from Malbs and Sampayas as well in that clutch. Giving over the op to the low HP bar. That's the play you got to trade right there. Even if you're focused in on Donut, they don't fall victim.
Malbs staying so sharp there.
Able to stay alive as well. That's a big factor. That's a guaranteed trade, it feels like, but he sneaks out of dodge just in time.
Big impact. It's not just the heavy god Hall anymore. For G2, Maddie's been playing well. Malbs is stepping up, and Sampayas is sure back. A main lurk picked off, and Maka. And now, where did 3D Max go? They're pressuring the red room.
Now they're running into red room right now. 4 players rotate over towards this B side, so Donut would be the ideal target. But instead they're wrapping through red room, and it's an open access into a flank onto the B side in this case. But I got bad news for 3D Max. That's where the whole team is.
Yeah, about to be overwhelmed though. Hunter in a weird position here at the B ramp. Now has 3 players trying to hold the cross, and it's again another firing squad as 3D Max get catapulted backwards. Maddie's still alive in the cave. It puts Body, who started off this game so incredibly on fire, now cooled off, now needs a clutch.
I'm not giving him. He has the idea that Maddie's is still in this cave side, but he's taken down so many players on B. But you'd have to think it's clear by now.
And Maddie's taking this time to Jiggle Peak, and he hits the instant headshot. Maddie's has been a huge asset here for G2. As they were down 5-2, they close out the half with 5 in a row.
They look like they can go on forever. And it's only the first match.
My brain feels like scrambled eggs after that marathon. Seriously, how do you recover from this?
I don't know, man. Looks like a long run. We need a quick reset.
Hey, cheer up, boys. It's only a best of 5. Refuel yourself.
was so saucy.
So creamy.
You were talking about the clutch, right?
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I guess.
And 5 rounds straight for G2, despite literal back-to-back aces from Body. It just wasn't enough, because G2, a complete team.
Yeah, see another effective timeout coming through from Saw that really gets them back on track. There are a lot of activity from some Pius in the early rounds, which is super promising. You've got Maddie's getting some kills there through Cave, and it felt like...
Four down mid.
Already coordinated.
It's a collision course right now, and it's messy, but it's a... Exorcise actually to find the kill. Heavy God trying to get out. It comes down to Maddie's here from up on the catwalk. Can he bring home a pistol?
Oh my God.
It's so close. Exorcise survives on 14 HP, and I think he just got a quad kill there as well.
Got 4. He got 4, locking it down. I mean, it started out labored as all get out. I don't know how those skills didn't come through a little bit quicker, but this is G2 held at the post. Can't quite get past this mark. And destroyed before they can really make their stride on in. Maddie's trying to activate late. There's a little too late. And Exorcise a little too sharp.
Wow. Big time pistol there for Exorcise. Spinning. And just a single deagle for Maddie's G to take the eco.
Well, them to quickly get back into it here. Try and tie things up. That is if Maddie's deagle doesn't have anything to say about it. Points flashbang.
Oh, that was
man.
a dink.
Maka forced off the line right there. That's a lesson learned. A lot of damage sent back at Maddie's way. It's still map control success.
Oh my God!
Gravity. He walked right into it.
Valves did walk out on the A side, however. But, like, they get a second kill here. Maka down low.
I mean, even if you can do some damage in this round, it's always pretty nice.
Right. It's not
That's
even
kind of the goal.
We're not talking about the win here because, like, lucky with one FAMAS could spray down the whole team. Even as an HE grenade to make life even worse.
That could hurt quite a bit. He's probably going to, take this elevated angle, first point of contact drop off, HE in. That's what you'd like to get away with. Now, that is a question. There's a shadow advantage, though.
Here we go. And Maddox will swing first. Here comes some Pius next. And just as I predicted, he does basically spray down the whole team. 2 kills and not terrible, though.
Yeah, that's what you'll take there. Couple of kills. Bomb plant going to be denied. And the gun round's going to come out quickly here for G2. We'll see what they have up their sleeve. You have just a lot of aggressive pieces now here. Talk about Malbs being in the server here can seriously provide these opening duels, but also Maddie's as a very aggressive force can do the same thing. I mean, he's willing to play in the face on these T sides. But right now, off spawn call feels like a classic. First gun round, let's try and execute. And for this time, feels like it's going to work out pretty nicely. You're going to see a late rotate roll into Donut.
Yep, but the donut smoke is coming on through.
They're past it already.
It lands really deep as well. This is a nifty donut smoke that G2 have cooked up, actually.
So what sort of control they take off the back of this pose plant? They're going to establish a foothold inside of Temple right now, and that's how they're going to have to win this round. By keeping this control and playing the crossfires.
Flashbang dodged out on, and you have some Pius and Hunter.
Oh, they're swinging. That's a shadow advantage as well.
But it's also just baits them in. The shadow advantage, I feel like, is...
A trap.
Yeah, it almost makes you tense up and mace all your shots, and that's exactly what happened. As 3D Max will be forced to say.
Yeah, they let them kind of work their way through Temple on that timing, and then double swing, and it's deadly. Everyone has to run away from this bomb. Not so fortunate for Hunter. He gets plucked out by a body, but only a single casualty. And a big statement made. Perfect execution. Good utility usage right there. The deep smokes and the idea to take Temple control late into the round.
That's a new donut lineup that I actually have not seen thrown. That lands inside of the actual corridor off that bounce. So it provides the perfect mixture because you can't spam out the open bomb plant. And it even allows you to get a little bit closer into donuts. Maybe, I think it's a new lineup at least, or...
I think I've seen it a couple times, but
Yeah, Yeah, but I mean, not like...
It is,
It's
I mean,
unique,
it's
like-
fairly new.
We got body pushing down middle here. We've got full mid aggression for 3D Max. We've got body nearly finding the double, but runs out of ammo, runs out of chances.
They spot the firing squad towards middle. I wonder if that's going to cue up any sort of reaction from this defense. Try and switch things up. Instead, full focus still put on mid control. And the reaction here from G2 is to slow it down. You see that Matties has been containing space on this B side all the while, making sure that they don't push too far forward down the ramp.
I think what they're going to try and do is, here at the outside of B, they're going to try and slingshot immediately.
Well, they're going to have to be fast now. Maka's already on the flank.
Yeah, but he hasn't cleared out aim A, but nearly catches the bomb.
Just the right read here on the reaction. Sampai's going to be lining up utility, and every second that they wait is another second that this flank can activate. Oh,
they're thinking about it. Sampai's has got nothing
no way.
Oh, he just let go of the line.
Bomb down.
And even a smoke on top of the bomb, too. Maka gets extra to work with. There's a perfect flashbang dropped in. Heavy God full blind and round over. Big flank works out for 3D Max. Unless, oh my goodness, unless Malt has this. Somehow, no. He will get flanked out by Gravity, and Maka wastes no time. So 3D Max immediately equalize.
Showing no respect right there. Maka making some big time moves. They spotted out the firing squad. They heard all the spam that was sent towards Body's trade. And even despite that, Matty's still following, or rather Maka still following in the footsteps of this execute. And it never even gets a chance to lift off. The smoke hits the floor on Sampai's body and bomb. And a timeout called from G2.
But another Saw timeout to turn the tides. Did it once in the first half.
Should still have a decent buy as well to work off of the back of this timeout. That shouldn't be a big concern. And keep up the intensity here. What they can't let 3D Max do is dominate this mid control. That is something that they work so effectively at. Body able to hit 20 already. The confidence is definitely felt. Maybe mid control can be sacrificed here. So they focus their sights on B. Damage done from Gravity on the spam. He's down to half HP.
Maybe he wants to pass that over to Heavy God. Or maybe not. Matty's still in his element. Doing a little bit of entry work. Finally, it doesn't have to be Mob's one-man armying every single bomb site take or mid-control or anything. I have another very willing player here.
Yeah, maybe a more accurate player there on the aggression. Here's again, more proactivity though out of the CT side. Body this time lurking his way through middle, taps away for some pious, but he can't connect the headshot crucially.
Extreme risk there from Maka. Actually committing to the fight, not even going for info. Somehow, neither player goes down.
Here's that queue up on the flank right there. Body landing his timing. This is being covered by Malbs for now. They're waiting for this, but how long can you wait for this aggression?
Oh, it turns out just about now, and Malbs wins it. They're going to speed it up now to A. 3 players flying through Donut. Solo hold for Lucky, sitting in the corner, and Matty's cutting off those rotates. It's all here on Lucky, on the site. Malbs picks it up.
Oh my God.
And the pinstripe kills through the feed lead to a 1v3 for Gravity.
Trade you'll take every day of the week. Now left into a 1v3. Gravity turning the corner into certain death right there. Not a chance for him to activate in that clutch.
These 2 aggressive riflers for G2 are stepping up. Malbs with that sick double entry, and Matty's holding one side of the map all to himself.
You can tell right now that G2 are prepared for the playstyle of 3D Max. The late aggression, they're watching it with 30 seconds left on the clock. You think that's surely a gut punch, another opening pick, but instead, the reaction coming through off the back of the Saul timeout, and they are so much more prepared this time around.
That felt like the perfect read. They're like, hey, give this team enough time, and they're going to send a guy out to try and find information they made. And it worked beautifully. They basically set up a donut pop from spawn, and when they get the flank, we're going A.
Yeah, I mean, what a great read right there. Perfect reaction. 3D Max left feeling like their main source, their main game plan getting shut down. I have to leave them more back into these sites. If your aggression is getting punished, it's hard to keep that confidence up to continue what is their bread and butter. That CT side proactivity finally punished and late into a round. It's going to force them to rethink the setups, and this round probably won't be the chance to really do it. Couple P250s in the mix. USPs in order as well. And what's shaping up to be a quicker A play and a very stacked B site.
Yeah, even Gravity not buying any
well.
pistols. Okay, there's another flank.
So what about a stacked A site here? 4 players in rotation. Hunter
That's
hearing
all
this.
been heard. Yep, Hunter heard every single footstep. So
And now let's rethink this here. Or no?
we're just gonna make sure their utility is good, I believe, as Hunter has now flanked the whole team and has gotten 3 kills. Hunter in the backline did not clear Temple critically, but that's just fine. He gets out of dodge. That's a kill from Lucky, and he will not hold on to that AK for long. So USB stack doesn't work out. Hunter pulls the floor out from underneath them. They all get sent falling. 10 rounds for G2.
He's over there on the A stream. Knocking these down quickly. Keeping it covered. Yeah, well handled. I mean, like you said, if you're executing into USPs, you gotta make sure that you got the good utility, and Hunter, the first person to take that contact, is the immediate win condition. Gun round back in play. Utilities left limited here for the 3D Max side, but it's used effectively.
Hunter puts his molly down, but the footsteps are heard from Gravity. Surprised there's no smoke spam. Gravity will be allowed to slink out of cave.
Bold moves here, but with that mid control, he can make these sort of motions through the smoke and get himself established. Body now joining forces. There's a smoke spam coming
Main
through.
Switch.
There's 2 more players. Now, Exorcy's also playing around in cave.
Like this. G2 take map control, and they just hold, and it might pay off as Maddie's baiting out all of these shots. He sprays down to nearly the 3rd. Exorcy's will be quickly traded, and 3D Max absolutely broken. Hunter's gonna keep speeding it up in through the cave. Maka's gotta hold. He's gotta do this with just the M4, and he does! Brings it back. 3D Max still with the round to play.
Well, this rotation looking valuable here. Malbs has to cut off.
And he gets a back turn. He catches Lucky. And they know where Maka was. Now spotted. Maka's going to continue going for this, though. Now in front of the smoke. He has the momentum behind him. An isolated player on the site. Not quite moving with the quickness, though. And G2 get to set in a foothold at Donut.
Double Donut and no kit here for Maka feels impossible. He's going to have to chase these kills down instead of playing and defusing the bomb.
Yeah, even a flashbang forward. Maka seen, has to run forward and get both of these kills in like 10 seconds, but that's a good start. Half HP, running out of ammo too. Here for Maka, 4 bullets. Now to the USP though. Now it becomes just so impossible, and some Pius will put him down. 11-8 here as G2 are starting to run away with Ancient.
Just have contingency plans set in stone right there. Malbs with the bailout option on his lurk towards middle. Able to cut off the rotate and provide a different avenue of approach for G2. And that denies Maka's heroics, trying to save that B bomb site. Doesn't get a chance to. Maddie's with a big explosive opening, so that's massive impact coming through from him. And again, as you said, just a little bit more weight off the shoulders of Malbs.
Yeah, this player can step up, and honestly, he's done so early on in these games too. Like, he's kind of a rookie to tier 1, realistically. Like, sure, he had a couple moments with Fnatic at an ESL Pro League, but besides that, Maddie's hasn't really gone super international with his teams. And now, like, he's on a true tier 1 force and making a lower bracket run right now, and kind of proving to the rest of Counter-Strike that, hey, over there at Fnatic, I was underutilized. Here, on this G2 team, he's taken on a very good opponent and putting on a performance.
It's just not an environment to thrive here, whereas this G2 roster is. He's hopping into a good situation. And that's a big impact that we already see lift off here for G2. Going to be a big stance for 3D Max to try and fight off against what will be map point on your map pick. G2 can capture it. Block utility right there, but a great combo that can allow them to work through the smoke. They're not going to make that risk, though. Not right now. Instead, trying to create themselves some open fights. Body with the hero rifle could be interesting. Especially with this stance towards middle and the reclaiming of control here in the mid-round from 3D Max's. G2 still prepared for moves like this.
Yeah, you still have Heavy God at elbow at the moment who can peek on timing and spots all the players. So G2 are just going to accelerate into B after seeing 2 to 3 players in middle. And we are looking at map point for G2.
Just a lot of good reactions here. I think that timeout really getting them prepared for what is the tendency of this 3D Max team. A lot of proactivity, a lot of aggression here. Some damage done. Hunter flying through the smoke, looking to seal this round up. Body finds a kill in 2.
Okay. But he's down to 4. He's going to try and save this, whatever the cost. Hunter's going to start the chase. You won't be getting that M4. And will there be a hunting party here for Body? It doesn't really seem so. But yeah, it really was just the Saw timeout, turn it around. And G2, ever since, have just looked comfortable in a lot of these rounds.
And prepared.
Yep.
Ready for the flanks, ready for the aggression right there. Heavy God not overstepping in middle, but instead just saying, hey, guess what they're doing? It's 50 seconds left in the round, and they're taking map control back. 3D Max so good at pushing the weakness of a map here on the CT side, but when it bears no fruit, when the reaction is to press off the back of that information, well, G2 are just going to find their way through these rounds. And one last-ditch effort towards the A side. This is looking like some off-spawn utility. Hunter setting up the smoke, and it's the right read. It's going to be limited defense here. Quick transition has to come through from Maka.
Yeah, and he's going to try and deploy a molly, but too late, buddy. They're already out all over the site at the moment. And Lucky's just going to get spammed out immediately. Already a 4v5 deficit with no utility for 3D Max. Their map pick looking gone. Exorcise the next to fall. Maka spamming the smokes. This is just pure desperation. Underhand smoke forward and a push behind here for Body as he'll walk forward right into inevitable doom. The Frenchmen pick this map, and G2, the real team. They're up 1 in the series and 1 away from eliminating 3D Max.
That's a great T side coming through from G2. Got to give a lot of credit there to Saul in terms of that timeout and the turning point that was for this T side. Hunter being able to quickly react off the back of those calls, and the full team adjusting.
You're losing your generational talent like Monacy. This team's still a contender. This is not like back into the VRS online grind again for this team. This is a squad that can still compete with some of the world's best, and eliminating here 3D Max is just another step on their path. Obviously, they are on a head-on collision versus Falcons in the game that would be filled with total irony. Get ready for that.
Yeah, that's, I mean, right now Falcons up a map, right? So,
yes.
in the same boat on the other side of the bracket. G2 finding themselves on Inferno. We'll see if 3D Max can fight for their lives.
This would be a bit of a crushing loss, I feel, for 3D Max. They've been always trying to push playoffs and kind of break this group stage curse. They always look like a good team, but struggle versus, teams that are better than them, struggle at punching up. They always maintain a good competitive nature in their games. They never really get blown out too much.
And that's why I was surprised to see them struggle with Gamer Legion, right? I think that's a team that they can pretty typically handle. That's kind of their bread and butter matchup, but G2... a different story and different challenge. There's a lot of utility for this B-side execute lining up right now, and a lot of resistance. Smoke going to be blocked off the perch. So some extra vision here. And G2 still remaining so incredibly patient. If we carry forward some of those same principles we talked about on Ancient, they're still freezing in these rounds.
Trying to see if there's any counter utility, which I love that play. Seeing that there is none, here comes the wave of utility. Double mollies as well will force Lucky out and towards the middle of the site, back of the fountain, dodging the flashbangs. Still up on the boost, but Lucky strikes with the first.
Oh my god.
And not quite. There it is. Eventually, Malbs was just full blind, staring in a corner the whole round.
He barked it right there, man. It was full commitment, trying to dodge out in those counter utility. And as you said, I mean, G2 threw that first smoke in to try and bait a reaction, try and get 3D Max to budge, but instead they hold the line, they hold the utility, and everyone able to influence the play. Gravity with the flash setup, Lucky with the knockdown, and even Gravity's pushing that smoke and lining up some kills as well. That does the trick here, and 3D Max getting another pistol. Needing a liftoff on Inferno.
A really nice trap setup for that B site. No counter utility, but instead we actually have...
Well, just one good counter flash.
Yeah, one good counter flash, and that's all they need. Malbs Deagle will be passed down to many generations of G2 players. Hopefully it'll bless Hunter here.
Otherwise, Body's going to go hunt some Eeks. Saw what happened when he forced up some ecos and got back-to-back aces. Got really confident early on Ancient. Didn't quite lead to long-term success in that second half, but it sure did give him some oomph in the first.
Here it comes. $600 just waiting right around the corner for one lucky winner. And Body unlucky. How about the real lucky? Not quite 3, losing a couple players here. Don't worry, Gravity will lock it up. 2 players do fall on the anti-eco. Not too bad there for 3D Max. Could have been worse. And first gun round coming up.
Here we go. This is the opportunity here. We'll see what 3D Max have in store for us. Again, it feels like the pressure that they're applying is getting read into, so I wonder if there's any big reactions hopping into this map after a little bit of a break, understanding that G2 come in on knowing what you're going to do, knowing your tendencies. So as this gun round comes out, will they continue this pressure? 3 players stacked over towards the B side, and early Apartments control, loud and proud about the positioning. And Hall's already being taken advantage of. Maddie's signaling some duels here soon. Hunting for them.
And just a pause. You still have 3 players sitting in the apartments right now. But all G2 need to do is put some pressure top banana, maybe draw that extra rotate back.
Can't stick around here for forever on top banana, but you can if you have utility to continue to block things out. That's what Body's gone and picked up here towards spawn.
Learn your flashbang lineups, folks.
There's another smoke baited out. You wonder how long they can stack up this B side of the or A side of the map rather. It's long enough for them to pop out of halls, which is right now kind of the play that's gearing up. There's aggression coming through from Maka off the back of a Gravity flashbang. A big-time opening pick on a Maddie's. Now, typically lurking about here and towards halls. Will you expect much more around the corner?
Maka will just be playing the off angle and also reveal his position inside a pit.
Maybe trying to bait up for Exorcist to...
Coming up lane and apps, and they find him already popping through, and Malb sees the whole team. Now they hone in onto the fights and entry the whole site. G2 breakthrough A.
Wow, looked so comfortable right there. Low HP onto the early opening on a Maka right there. Exorcist has to provide a big multi-kill, right? He's the switch there that gets to surprise them. But only a single frag there as G2 are able to slide out.
Because the surprise is ruined because Malbs not only finds the first kill, but he drops in and calls both Mini Pit and Moto, and that lets everyone swing so perfectly to hard clear. Exorcist. It's just that little piece of information that G2 don't even need utility at that point. They've already got the manpower and the capable fraggers, of course, in order to take those fights. They just swing past the Moto angle, don't let him catch them, and play together perfectly.
This is just a kind of a hard, I think, style to lean in on here if you're G2 as well. They are really letting this clock run out versus 3D Max, and that's where I think you see a lot of new IGLs just look directionless in terms of the execution. But right now, they've got their finger on the pulse and are able to at least land these executes. They're able to catch the activity, even if it's not successful in that last round. They were somewhat prepared for it.
Puts big credit to Hunters as an in-game leader, as a fake Molotov. It's genius! A Molotov on the roof, they're not even ready! A genius play made here by G2. It's Gravity still on the site, though. They still need to be prepared. It doesn't seem like they are, or are they? Never mind. Malbs, instant headshot. And an absolute genius call from G2. They threw a molly on top of the banana roof, and they thought there's no way that they push.
Can't push that, right? But turning that corner, Hunter, not only backing it up there with the full vision, right? You have that gimmick set in stone, but then executing with the multi-kill. Not just a one and done, but tearing open that site.
And that's a read right there of how 3D Max like to play their banana setup. And now they might give up a couple players here. Some Pies have snuck around the smoke, though, and catches you switching guns. Now they're going to rip everything away. 3D Max about to be brutalized. Only $300 remains here for Exorcise. Somehow that grenade.
The HE would do more.
So saved AK here for 3D Max, but that's sure laughing to the bank with that pocket.
Yeah, you can see a little cheeky smirk right there for Hunter. He knows what he just got away with. Flawless execution on the entry. And a perfect read, as you said.
Hey, you like that? And I'm sure that's a playbook strat from Saw and Hunter that they called up.
You've been working on that one in the servers. That's for sure. It's good to see what you've planned out in practice fully come into play.
Boost up for Exorcise.
Only to pull him down. So Pius just doesn't reveal. And the double nade stack is going to hurt. Gravity sidelined.
There's another boost action here in CT. That works out. That is the AK scene.
And they're trying to run it down in towards the A side here on the T side. Nice retrieval there from Hunter to get rid of the gun. But they might be a little bit late here. Unfortunately, it's not a full commitment for 3D Max. They're actually going to double back here. And it's going to be a very clear A site. The gamble and probably the hunt that was looking for that AK that's no longer there is going to lead to a save. And it's already G2 showing another good T side.
They're going to try and find the AK that Hunter... I actually want to see the action that's happening over...
We got any HEs?
Yeah, you can see on top of the wall. They're trying for it. Where did it go?
That gun?
Oh, they got it! Oh,
way.
the teamwork as well. They're from 3D Max to get the gun.
Did they just boost on top of the broken wall right
Yeah,
there?
they boosted on top of half wall, jumped and actually snagged the AK. That's insane.
Oh, sneaky stuff right there. You got to get every last tool.
From up on the rooftops. Oh my goodness.
Or maybe a good showcase of 3D Max and the coordination. The trust and unity of this team that has been built together. Did make one move in the roster during this offseason and change it up the coaching department here, trying to, get back on the same page, and I think most importantly, break through into a playoffs performance. That's, probably this team's goal. They're consistently showing up in these group stages, and they're always a little bit scary to play with how aggressive they can be, but challenging the best of the best is a different story. Now they're fighting with their back against the wall in a situation that they found themselves so many times this year.
This would be a landmark win if they could take down G2 in this series. Not just the series in general, but even in this fashion. They're down a map. They've lost their map pick. They're playing Inferno right now. A map that G2 felt confident enough to play versus Vitality at least. Mafia does at least bring home first onto Heavy God. But now backing away. Matty's nearly catches him, but it'll be a safe opening pick.
The aggression.
3D Max, but they keep pushing.
Oh, and nice timing though. Hunter fades away from the angle, and Exorcise calling it clear right now, but that might be a false sense of security.
Now they clear out middle, but in reality, everyone is actually in the apartments right now. This is the complete wrong read here for 3D Max as they're trying to push down middle. Matty's is watching for an instant headshot, sees two players, and surely this is where they go out onto the A site. Lucky though does drop the bomb, and a big time mistake will be caught as G2 had big position, but they didn't take advantage of it.
Wow. Tough to imagine that round crumbling when G2 read into that re-aggression so effectively. The fallback of Maddie's looking perfect, but now no one able to capitalize on that lost space in some pious. Any exit damage you got for us here? Lucky turn to the corner. They're not giving him the duel. Sticking around and closing it out. Only a single casualty in that round, despite what looked to be a devastating setup.
Because 3D Max had the complete wrong read of the round. They thought it was going to the B site when they see brackets is clear, when they see middle is clear, and no reactions from the apartments. But G2 didn't know the luxuries that they had in that very moment.
Absolutely. I mean, that's the big difference maker, right? You're getting out of apartments, but you don't really expect them to be, you know, zero in towards pit, no one in towards moto rotating in. And as you can see, that slow pace there catches G2 off guard.
I wonder how Saw is actually going to communicate that to G2. Like, hey, we had a cool advantage in the round. Like, how are we going to be able to take advantage of that situation, right? Because I'm sure Saw sees the gap as he's standing behind his team, but he can only kind of sit and watch as Hunter swings out Boiler with the bomb, right? So...
yeah, I feel like that's one of those communication things, because you mentioned the, I think it was Body making footsteps running through middle and trying to claim some space. And as you're doing that, that has to be communicated. Maddie's has to say that over to his teammates in apartments, and then that leads to the mid re-aggression. You don't know how many players are leaning down that way, but it is one of those things where I think communication plays a big factor.
As already sprinting up middle fast right now for some Pius. 3B setup. HE grenade will catch on the body for some solid damage. Brings him down to 30. Look at that nade pool put out there.
Pius would have benefited from an op right there, trying to work his way up middle. Like an opera would, but with the rifle instead. Can't quite catch the jump peaks, and here's the reaction. They're 80 max, they're ready to make a move. Full unit, quick rotation, pack being assembled here for this team.
Now
reclaiming brackets control.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like 3D Max don't have a lot of utility, but a lot of it is actually on the floor.
Even a T side molly that they leave for the very last, in case an execute does come their way on the B side.
Doesn't look like it though. Instead, very passive on A.
A lot of focus on this lane side attack, which that's exactly what they need to do. No one going to be wrapping with the smoke currently up. And 40 seconds left. They're telegraphing a lot of this move here and trying to set up more utility. Maybe lining up for another Halls pop as 3 players are in towards apartments. We'll see if it's as effective as it was the last time around.
Now 30 seconds, but Lucky has a molly, but he's not going to use it. He's going to stay gun out. Worried about the wrap as they drop in the smoke, but really it's coming out of the apartments at the moment as now Maka needs to be gun out too. Exorcist inside a pit. Lucky helping out. Lucky with another multi. He's so good on this A site. Malm's going to walk through a smoke predictably. Malms gets the kill, but he does not have time to get that plant. And so that will be round. 3D Max hold the A site.
Yeah, well done right there. I think that's a little bit more effective in dealing with the Halls pop, is having multiple players on the site proper and a player inside that mini pit. I mean, perfect setup. It's really hard to land your quick trades as they did once before when multiple players are firing on the site. Not enough lane pressure coming through there from G2. And this time it holds together. 3D Max and Lucky offering up another multi-kill. 9 and 3 for him so far. Oh, this is a big move.
Okay.
Bought out from Sun Pius.
Already scaling up Banana as well at logs. And waiting for a deep peek.
Maka's here as well. Head-on collision for these oppers.
Here we go. Scope up. And Maka misses. Off for Sun Pius. Brings one home. Still Body trapped at sandbags. Has some help in the form of Gravity, but Body's struggling to get the kill. Maddie's now swings out. Gravity can't collect either. 3 versus 3 here early.
There's still multiple players on this B-side defense, and Sapai still looking for his stride on in. Knows that he has to do more heavy lifting in a round like this.
Boost up.
Boost up. Not going to get the close smoke visual. They're struggling to assemble.
Gravity's going to get flashed through, and everyone's blind except for Maddie's, who covers. The whole team gets seen, but it's one player closing off the exit.
Maddie's on the op now, watching the flank.
Holding on to this. Exorcist cannot peek this.
Yeah, holding the off angle wisely. taming that aggression just at the right time. Lucky playing within the confines of this smoke right now, and no fights presenting itself, as 3D Max know they're boxed into Banana. Despite that knowledge, still a way to crack through. It's going to come down to some Pius on his rifle right now. No utility now that smoke faded.
20 seconds. And this entry is everything. Some Pius leading, sees him, and goes down. Now it's just Maddie's 8 HP on the op, and he even just unscopes there too. To make life worse, the 2v2 goes the way of 3D Max.
Yeah, fairly comfortably. That's a big-time purchase right there. A lot of trust being put into some Pius to try and get work done with the op, and he finds it. Opening duel going the way, but Body able to deliver onto the AK, and so much damage done to follow up. Seeing some bold calls here out of Hunter, and some Pius calling his own shots. That might have been their ticket back into the last half, or rather the first half of Ancient, but not quite the ticket here on Inferno.
And now, fast into the apartments and gonna overwhelm Maka. Front of the site, you shoot once though, you let him through. Huge mistake there from Maka to fire off. He's bailed out by Exorcist, but that's the A site given over to G2.
Well, they didn't pick up the ball, or the op rather, and an HE doesn't quite track Malbs. They're trying to find this AWP, but they can't. Got lost inside the smoke right now. Where on earth is it? Maddie's can't find it. It's inside the pit.
Oh boy. This could be calmed out, but instead Maddie's will be rocking with the Glock. It's a really up to Heavy God's Galil inside of pit, holding the off angle. Malbs also is going down low, and everything is going wrong for G2. Malbs screwed in his spot. Still gets one though, and Heavy God can't clutch.
No kits.
But no kits. They didn't have time. What is going on? They couldn't find the bomb. They didn't have a kit with so much.
Both of them.
With so much money in the bank, they didn't have kits, and they give up the round.
Oh man, that's a brutal one right there for 3D Max. They had it in the bag. They didn't buy kits. They had the money, like you said, but they find them a little too late. Somehow just not investing into that, and can't find it in time to defuse the bomb.
They thought they lost. Like, Heavy God's even done, but
yeah, it was over if they made that small investment.
But now that changes the tide of this game completely.
Wow. And they recover quickly. This is a chance to bounce back. They still got the buy in order, but they cannot survive another loss. Otherwise, it's going to be a scale back. And Maka again in the danger zone.
Inside of Forge. But yeah, given over. Maddie should be gone. Not.
Wow.
To be. Huge flick from Maddie's. Maka.
The molly for the opper.
Yep. Footsteps made as well.
Smoke down deep, Banana. Body going to stick around here. At least a little bit of coverage in this positioning that they have on Banana. Trying to redeem this 4v5. Extra help being supported now on this A side soon. Not the end of the world for 3D Max, but a tough one to hold on to.
And G2 are playing this so absolutely patient.
They're going to get what they want.
Re-swing middle. And dealt with by Hunter. Another swing incoming here. It's lucky he's going to peek into Boiler. I think he just showed his shadow as well to Heavy God.
Crossfire here still, though.
Yeah. But Molly for underneath Porch will make life very difficult as, yeah, Heavy God gets the initial. Gravity so screwed. And G2 have seized control of Inferno off the back of no defuse kits.
You hate to see that right there for 3D Max. The resiliency that this team has had is going to be nullified. Not a single gun held onto. Malbs rips the last one away. That small little bit of decision making, trying to hold on to some extra money, ends up haunting them in the worst way, and especially with the round after.
Now they lose all their money instead. They're dead broke in this.
Gosh.
Early leads for G2, or rather for 3D Max, have now been rolled back by G2 in back-to-back maps.
Timeout called, but I mean, there's not going to be a lot behind it unless you want to go force buying for the rest of this half. And again, that right there in a 4v5, when it's provided to you by G2, they just sit and they wait, and they let the op come walking into their open arms. It's one of these maps here where you have to stay focused constantly because you know it's going to come through. It felt like they reacted to that ever since Ancient Timeout. Now they're always prepared for this sort of motion, that's re-aggression coming through from 3D Max, and especially when it's man advantage situations. Just feel like 3D Max, they don't like to leave rounds up to chance, right? It's all down to information that they need to contain.
Yeah, very, I would say, like, reactive team as well. You know, they're always trying to play off of the information and play to their opponent. And sometimes when you try to play to your opponent and your opponent's just flat out better than you might falter. Because here, flash swing, and a simple mow down, B-side stack. Completely owned. It's a complete farm for the side of G2. This will be the final round of the half. This is what the timeout is for on the side of 3D Max. As G2, it really just is the round where they didn't buy kits, man. It actually might be the story of this map. It's allowed G2 back into the game. They might even have a lead at the end of this.
Yeah, at least securing a tie right now. And again, 3D Max really were able to string some effective rounds together. Their sight holds were looking a lot more gelled. Coordination rolling through. They're definitely going to be feeling that one. Now Utility just bursting in the air. HE's not connecting for early damage. 3D Max still looking to fight for banana control. Double setup here, this time with rifles. Look at XSC's. Doing what is so common with an op and a rifle. Just two A1Ss instead.
One flashbang could be absolutely ruinous, however. Even the nade smoke to allow the swing, it was cool, but it did not work. That's actually a nifty way to break the op setup. At least an attempt, but...
Didn't expect two rifles to be on the other end of that.
Yeah.
That's a different story. Oh, careful. Body spamming down. But opening himself up to some vulnerabilities of an kill in return.
They're sticking around towards top B, though, with the man advantage. It's very risky.
Oh, and now Gravity going to be forced off. The smoke comes through just in time.
Oh my god, he just survives in the back corner.
Oh, wow.
And Body does find a kill on the Hunter running forward. Now here, seen, now dealt with. I mean, that's an insane flick from Malbs, but still very down in this round. It comes down to Maddie's and whether he can find this kill on Exorcise, who's holding the big off angle at the moment. But Maddie's knows about this possibility as he pops up. He's busy clearing the apartments and the balcony. That leaves Sun Pius 1v4 with only 20 seconds remaining on the clock.
What's he got for us? Anything special? I mean, he's got to get a move on. That's a big influence. He's also getting followed, flanked.
And they know where he is. He does get access to the site, strangely enough, and might get a safe plant. Oh my goodness. Exorcist will try to chase him down, but he gets out the off and he turns it around. No way does Sunpius have this clutch. No. He gets the third kill. Oh my god. Gravity will run him down, but somehow they let Sunpius get that close. Don't fly too high, 3D Max. You almost got burned. It's 6-all. could have been so much better for 3D Max, but 6-all is where it stands. Now, CT side needed here for G2. But that CT side, if you remember versus Furia, required 1v5 clutches to 3D Max have a chance.
I think they have some room on into this one, that's for sure. Tying things up and landing on their feet with the last round of the half. Even though some pious almost ripped that away from them, it's still converted. If they can keep up their success in the pistols, they're going to continue the conversation. Silent, jump up into hulls. A nice belt of utility on gravity. And Mako with a smoke as well. None of this being registered, none of this being heard. So the setup here from G2 is looking more like a retake.
Yeah, they're letting the hulls pop kind of happen, and they're letting Heavy God do as he pleases. Out middle, he dropped the flashbangs, and, well, he gets dropped next by gravity. Now Hunter on the site gets gooshed up and destroyed. Still, though, fast rotate here from G2, and a set of dual Berettas are gonna chew up all of 3D Max. Molotov Sun Pius ruin 3D.
Yeah, I mean, they're so quick right there, and again, it's so silent on the approach, but G2 offer up enough disruption. Hunter able to play distraction, and at least Heavy God getting one here. It slows them down, and Pius able to transition on in just in time with Malbs to back him up on the dual Berettas. There ends up being a solid defense, even though it was looking like they were going to play retake on that A side. They didn't even allow 3D Max to take the site.
Yeah, it was that little hesitation as well from 3D Max. I think lining up some utility. Oh, that lets everyone scamper onto the site. It gets allows G2 to really stretch their legs a bit on CT. Force buy.
Big time force buy right now from 3D Max. Without the bomb plant, not a lot of kills rolling out here. Mac 10s and Tech 9s in play.
And like 3 smokes, 1 flashbang.
What do they got in store for us in a round like this? I have to come up with something special. Tech 9 shots to close the distance. Some Deagle shots in the mix, but re-aggression.
My God.
Hunter.
He's gonna catch the whole team walking into mid-bracket. He might be back turned right now to body. No, he'll get the kill instead, and then everyone strikes in middle. All 5 Frenchmen fall in middle.
That timing right there. It's just an alarm bell, turning everyone's attention the right way. And Hunter, I mean, he can't believe what he just found out right there. Not only spotting the mid play, but a side turn inside of the apartments. And the chaos right there for 3D Max, but the full preparation for G2. They were ready for that walkthrough. The crossfire symbol, the constant pressure, and okay, a little bit of a half buy. I was going to say, it looks like it's all-in move from Lucky, but
Dropped over Galil.
yeah, that's where he gets it.
And now trying to put on some pressure. Just a hero gun.
Can't do a whole lot with this.
Can't bully him, though. That's the big thing. With the presence of that Galil stops these wide swings from potentially happening. Car control established, however.
Not for long. There's a retake utility with the backbone around it. Malbs joining up here and reclaiming that space quickly. I guess not a bad read, though. You might take car control back away from us, but we're going to go take brackets away from you. Forces Hunter in a quick rotate. But brackets is established, and some more fights might present itself to Lucky. What has he got here for him? Turn to the corner.
Scene.
Not giving the fights. They're just not giving him the duels.
And now, ooh, a team flash, though. That could have been money for Hunter. Instead, it's nothing. In fact, he falls. Now it's got to be Heavy God here inside of the pit. And then the Galil hits the dirt. And the threat is averted here. The side of G2, it's 9-6.
A big call right there. I think Lucky trying to make some strides. Obviously having himself a good map right now individually, but just not presented the duels that he's hoping for when you have the hero rifle. They wait so long until they finally force those fights, and when they do so, Heavy God and some Pius coordinating effectively. Ooh, nice taps. Now Famas 3K gonna give him an AWP to upgrade onto for the first gun round that rolls through.
And I don't think 3D Max would be ready for that kind of play this early on. Double nades. 2-strike true onto the aggressive riflers here for G2 as Mobs barely living. So does Lucky.
They're just continuing to battle it out, man.
Yeah, I love Banana on Inferno, man.
Smoke spam duels galore. Good flashbang here to blind up some Pius. He's gonna get away just in time. Just about.
Covered by Heavy God well. And a great grenade to punish.
Still a bit of a weak side defense on this A side of the map here. Molly especially to keep some Pius from keeping coverage of this arch side, but more damage done through the smoke here. Leaves 3D Max walking wounded.
It's unconfirmed damage though, so it's not really something you could react off of, but G2 are still
reacting.
Calling over a huge setup. Flashbang high, catches Maka in the open. Another player spotted as well. They're trying to boost too.
Oh.
And Heavy God's gonna mow him down. G2 dominance.
Oh man. The boost right there, just as an opera walking through there, catching the poor innocent boiler player. Well, they're trying to set up some trickery to get past your op. Anything to get past some Pius, because you know he's not going to miss.
Absolutely crazy round. Crazy seeds. Players boosting. Players with nades in hand. It's G2 who are creating the chaos instead of 3D Max.
Still so reactive here. There's so much motion going on in the CT side. As you can see, constant fights down Banana, but then a pretty hefty A side setup later down the line here. Body flying into the mix. Fearless installed. Get out. And back turn to an AWP.
Oh, and now Mobs sees multiple players as he breaks open the smoke with his bullets and then breaks the faces of 3D Max. This is not looking good. This is rounds over in like the first 30 seconds in a couple of these. Little momentum, and starting to wave them goodbye across the room. Mobs can feel it.
Yeah, that's a justified feeling as well. That one goes absolutely nowhere. 3D Max throwing all caution to the wind now and getting met by some heavy resistance. Mobs playing on the edge of that smoke. It just feels like a smoke designed for that small window of opportunity. He sure punishes. Nothing given. I think a well-needed timeout for 3D Max. The feeling of frustration amplifying, the feeling that is so familiar throughout this year for them. Constant contenders to try and break through into playoffs, but never quite being there. Staring down the barrel of that once again here, just 2 rounds away for G2.
I mean, off the back of 2 roster changes and a new coach, G2 immediately in their first tournament looked like a pretty darn complete team. Still waiting to see how they do versus, we say, the elite.
Not the immortal.
Not the immortal. We've seen the immortal. We knew that wasn't going to happen. But versus the elite, can they challenge the princes of Counter-Strike? For now, it's looking quite strong. As it's going to be 3D Max trying to send it a bit further forward, but Mobs doesn't feel the pressure, doesn't hear the footsteps approaching, so...
Comes Maddie added again. Comes by some utility that can be tossed through from Hunter.
Maddie's and Mobs is an incredible duo you could have at the top of T. That is so much firepower that'll be so difficult to handle, and 3D Max, they want to test it.
They just don't let off the gas either. Thought they were for a second gonna give over B, but of course not. Valve's joining forces back in return, and maybe he should have taken that time to fall off. Instead, Maddie's goes and trades things out quickly.
Ooh, they try to hard rotate over to A instead.
Whoa, they're making noise on this rotate as well. This is an easy call.
I don't think they would have been able to
overcomplicate it.
Though. You can see that the pop is not instant at the moment, and all Hunter wants to do is actually just break the CT smoke.
It's a big gamble from G2 here. They see the boost, so at least that's 2 players confirmed. They've got brackets control. I mean, there's 35 seconds left. You're not really spotting a lot towards middle. You question if they're ever going to budge, or if this is just going to be on the sole responsibility of Hunter. It looks like the latter.
As he swings forward, though, he wins his duel versus Lucky. That needed to be converted, and you're right, the HE, and now the flank developing as well. You're launching flashes from Banana, you get picked, and the smoke break is perfect. They don't even need anyone on the B site. G2 just mind-controlled 3D Max into losing this round as Hunter holds down B. It is series point for G2.
That's a perfect read right there. I mean, a little bit of risky aggression there for Hunter, but you kind of need to take some risky moments like that and able to slide through and disrupt their execution. They were setting up utility right there. CT side, or CT smoke rather, was in play. And 3D Max just can't breathe on this T side. Looking for a sweep. This CT side remaining flawless. And now just one to eliminate 3D Max, despite the uprising they have caused in this lower bracket. They're going to get bombarded by utility.
Still, Matty's does actually go down to the own set of utility, but Smoke Spam from Mobs is going to be so lucrative. Ready in just a moment to open up that mid banana smoke. Is about to fade. Mobs is actually trying to be a playmaker here. Back of the barrels, sees a player.
Oh.
Great though from Gravity.
Not in a position to rush it down, though. They've been so used to Hunter joining up here and still being on this B side.
They only have one smoke, one flash.
Oh,
And two
so much
players
block utility still in play for Hunter.
sub 30 HP. So Hunter's just going to walk into top banana casually.
Oh, how far does he want to press the issue?
Oh my god, he gets the kill, but not the
Oh.
second. Doesn't react in time to pick Lucky, rather. Now, 2 versus
You can't
3.
overthink around like this, right? They've got 3 kills on B. Hunter's down. You got Maddies, you got Mobs. If you go through the checklist, that's just about everyone.
Oh my goodness. Maka's going to be the probe up middle. Right into some Pious. That will let them into the B site,
Oh, boy.
but the fast flank is already happening.
Got to get a move on here. Got to be a B-side finish. The run down from Heavy God. He is moving fast.
Full sprinting.
He's going to have to hit shift soon.
He's going to get there before they even plant the bomb. They might plant for Banana. They might plant for Heavy God to just end them.
No, no way.
It's going to happen. Planting in the open. Exorcise is doomed, and it's just Lucky. And they don't even have time to make life worse. They're already clapping before the round is over. G2 eliminate 3D Max from IEM Cologne. It feels like for the Frenchmen another predictable exit at this stage of the tournament, but for G2, they are now one best of 3 away from playing in front of the Lanxess.
Man, a joyous Hunter right there, a joyous Saul, as they have all the right reasons right there.